I'd like to call this April 23 board meeting to order. And we're going to have Ms. Burke, if she will, come and say a prayer for us and lead us in the pledge.
Bow our heads. Father, I come to you tonight so thankful for the opportunity to, in this setting, give you praise. I thank you, Lord, for every employee that we have in Lincoln County Schools. Father, a special prayer, Father, for our children, our students, as they have a month and a half left of school. I thank you, Lord, for favor and a continual blessing upon each and every one of them. Tonight, Lord, I ask for wisdom for our board members and our superintendent that can only come from you. And that every single decision that's made, Lord, would be done with a thoughtful presence of mind for each child, and each decision would glorify you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item we have tonight is our consent items.
Thank you, Ms. Burke.
Yes. Thank you, Ms.
Thank you, Ms. Burke.
The first item is our consent items, which consists of the agenda, the minutes of the March 14th, 23 meeting, the fundraiser for the varsity girls basketball, and rental facility for the dance class to use the rental facility. Do we have any questions about those? If not, I need a motion to accept the consent item.
I'll make a motion that we accept the
I have a
consent
motion by
items.
Mr. Madison,
Second.
second by Mr. Mongrue. All in favor? Next item is our Young Georgia authors.
Michael.
Thank all of you for coming. I know we got a lot of things that's causing some of you to be in several different places, from soccer to softball to baseball, but thank you for being able to come tonight. Tonight we're come to honor our system winners, each individual student for their particular grade. These students have done some great writing. The competition begins at the school level, where they are able to select at each grade, the teachers and administration select a grade winner, and then that grade winner submission is submitted to the RESA. We're fortunate again this year to have one of our entries win for the RESA, and that's Ruby Smith. We'll talk more about that when we get to third grade. They started judging last week, haven't gotten word yet to know what you've done in the state competition right now. But our system winners, we'll start with our kindergarten. So what we'll do, we'll call them up. We'll read just a short excerpt. Dr. Lyda come up and present a certificate to them. And then after we get all the grade level winners for kindergarten through fifth, we'll have all the teachers and administration come up, and we'll take one picture for them. And then we'll do it for each middle school and then high school. And after that, we will hopefully dismiss. And we ask that when you do dismiss, I know you want to take pictures out there. We'll close the door. Understand we are still having a business meeting on this side, so you might want to take pictures outside or just kind of do it quietly. But first we have, now some of them may or may not be here, so I don't know. So if we call a name, they're not here. That I just didn't know if they're here or not. But we have Miss Sabrina Thompson for kindergarten. Her poem was short story was Animals, and it reads, just again an excerpt for each one of them. I love cheetahs. Cheetahs are fast, and cheetahs have tails. So we have Miss Sabrina Thompson, our kindergarten winner.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, she can come right now. The teacher, you come do the individual picture too. But we're gonna want you to come back for the entire elementary school also. After that, we'll look at that. All right, turn this way also. Turn this way. We got one with Mrs. Burke.
I'll go on that side next time.
And also, we have a gift card for you to go to Uncle Bart's. first grade, we have Ella Cousins. If I had $100, and so her story, and matter of fact, can you read, let's do this. Can you read what you wrote? We'll just have, I'm sorry, I should have let Sabrina do that. Do you want to read or you rather read? All right, I'll read. All right. Can I tell you what I would do if I had $100? First, I would go get Chick-fil-A. Next, I would buy my mom and daddy some cookies. Last, I would go get my brother a book about dragons. I think it would be fun. First grade winner, Miss Ella Cousins. And if you want to have, if our first grade teachers here, you're most welcome to come also. All right. Good call, Uncle Bob.
Good job. Ella can also sing. She sang at the Easter program at church.
Next, Miss Ella Penland. Do you want to read or want me to read? All right. Long ago, I was stuck in a snow globe. One sunny morning, the pink morning sky and the lovely singing birds woke me up. Good morning, singing birds and the pink morning sky. Miss Ella Penland. And any of our second grade teachers, if you're here.
Congratulations. There we go.
Third grade again. This is our third grade winner, who also I told you is also the CS already 13 counties consisting of the Central Savannah River area, and she was the winner for all third grade. It says, once upon a time in another dimension, there were two beautiful werewolves. They were the daughters of King Fangheart and Queen Shadow Scratcher. Their names were Ruoff and Lafane. They were twins who wore dresses made out of finest silk in the land. One day they were sent to spy on the vampires of the land called Vampire Valleys. Father, are you sure we can do this? Said Lafane. Don't worry, we can do this. You can count on us, stated Ruoff. And I tell you, you read these stories, the imagination of these students is awesome and great. So our third grade winner for not only Lincoln County Elementary, but for the RESA is Miss Ruby Smith. And also our third grade teacher, I see someone here, come on up.
Great. That's fine. Thank you all.
All right, for fourth grade, we have Miss Sadie Collier. Her story helped the homeless. When I grew up, I wanted to start my own business. I would want my business to be about helping those in need, the ones who don't have food, water, shelter, and money. For example, if I see homeless people with children, I will go up to them and give them baby or children items to take care of them. That is from Miss Sadie Collier. And I know did she make, oh, they did make it so far. All right, Miss Sadie. Let me show you. Any fourth grade teachers we have also come
Fourth
up.
grade teacher? Okay. Hold on, we're going to get a picture first. That way. Okay, keep on reading. There you go. Hold on, get your gift card. If you don't read
Fifth grade, Miss Allison Sue Morris. Is this a true story? Oh man, if you read the whole story, I tell you, it's awesome. God saved my grandma's life. I'm Alice and my brother's name is Jake. I was 3 and he was 7 when Grandma, aka Nana, was diagnosed with cancer. She was miserable and felt like she could just die. She could barely even get up and do something. I didn't know what to do because I was so young. My Nana didn't even want to believe in miracles. On the other hand, Jake kept on believing. Jake finally remembered there is only one miracle worker. His name is God. Miss Allison Sue Morris, God saved my grandma's life. And in the fifth grade, we got Miss Griffin.
Don't make me cry. I can't take it.
All right, and we're going to ask that.
Do you want to come farther or closer? You good? Okay.
And we're going to ask all our elementary school winners to come up. And administration and teachers. It's going to be a little tight, but we'll make it work. I'll move this chair. Maybe that'll help us out there. Don't y'all can get in the circle loop behind them.
There you go.
Miss Burke.
Congratulations.
And it's hard to keep track, but I know several of them have been multi-year winners. And I think even in our middle school, we have some multi-year winners also. And for sixth grade, we have Riley Olson, Warzone. Hello, my name is John. I'm a part of SMRA, which is taking a large stand in today's post-apocalyptic military, which are 5 corps: the RAD medics, the air units, the SMRA, the Space Corps, and finally the bunker medics. The Space Corps had always made themselves known by dropping nuclear bombs when we were almost overrun by zombies. Mr. Riley Olson, great imagination.
Good job, sir. Hold on to that for me. I don't want you to forget that. Do we have a sixth grade teacher?
No.
Okay, there you go. Congratulations.
Mr. Young Turner, 7th grade. Even though it's a Georgia fan, we don't hold that against him. And pretty much most of y'all probably Georgia fans. The sun was out, no clouds in sight as the day began. This was just the beginning of Saturday in Athens as a Georgia Bulldog fan. The hedges were trimmed perfectly, the grass was cut thin. On 3 more hours till the game would begin. A great poem he had there about a Saturday in Athens, Mr. Luke Turner said.
Congratulations, sir.
Right here.
You
We won't hold
notice
it
he's in
against
costume as well.
We won't hold it against him for not being a dog.
Yeah, exactly.
And I believe it's either him or his brother. You are a multi-year winner?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. 8th grade, Mr. Paul Huffman. Is Paul here? Can you read that for us? I don't know. What's your title?
The Kingdom of Immigrant, and then it's the beginning.
All right. Here's the title he said. I looked at the window and noticed it had started to rain. I was heading to my next class just like any other normal day at Lincoln County Middle School. I was in 8th grade and was ready to start my year off to a good start. Everyone else had already gone inside the classroom. But I, on the other hand, had asked the teacher if I could have a drink from the water fountain. She said so be it, and I began to walk down the corridor to my destination. Little did I know my entire life was about to change. Again, Mr. Paul Huffman, our 8th grade.
Congratulations, sir.
And all of our middle school winners can come up. Right. And now for our high school, made it just in time, fresh off her soccer win, Miss Allie Cox for 9th grade. The theme of death's ability to be conquered in the sonnet's Death Be Not Proud. Says, often the world views death as an inevitable entity that holds dominion and power over every human being. John Donne, the author of Death Be Not Proud, shifts their perspective on death and brings new light to his lack of power and demise. Don constructs the theme of death's ability to be conquered throughout the entirety of his poem, and she goes and gives more information about the theme of that poem. Miss Allie Cox.
Congratulations. Congratulations on the win as well, by the way. Right here. Mom?
Oh, sorry. I'm watching Tanya. Thank you.
Congratulations. Take that with you.
10th grade is Miss Shannon Leverett, Lost in the Past. I looked at the trees lining the sidewalk. They were beautiful in their simplicity. The war had changed me. Instead of the thrill-seeking man I used to be, I now preferred the simple things in life. Like, of course, walking in the park, I smiled, glancing over at the children as they played. What I would give to have that type of look on the world again. I looked up, taking in the brilliant blue sky. There wasn't a cloud in sight, an exact contrast to what I had gotten used to back in Vietnam. Miss Shannon Leverett, our sophomore year.
Wow. Congratulations.
Our 11th grade winner was not able to make it today, Miss Piper Buller. I believe she is a multi-year winner also. The Animal's Gift, my grandchildren allow me to tell you the story of how the rainbow came to be. Long before you and me, long before idea was man was even conceived. Sky Man and Sky Woman create the land for the animals to inhabit. Sky Man create the grass and trees and the lakes and the streams. Sky Woman create the mountains and the flowers and the breeze and the rain. Every animal had a special place specifically created for him and by the Sky people. Miss Piper Buller, our 11th grade winner, and our 12th grade winner, they were not able to make it, also Mr. Chris Hines. I remember the passing. I grew up in South Carolina. I was always moving and changing schools and neighborhoods. There's one neighborhood I'll never forget though, because of all the memories and specific people I met. We moved to Moncks Corner, South Carolina, where I met my childhood best friend, Kyle. Kyle and I were inseparable, both outgoing and adventurous, full of joy, the true meaning of kids being kids. Our senior winner was Mr. Chris Hines. And then we're going to ask Allie and Shannon come back up along with Dr. Wolski and Mrs. Jordan. I know she was back there somewhere for our group picture for the high school. We thank all of you parents and your children for continuing, and the teachers for all you do to encourage them in their writing and the creativity that was displayed. A question someone asked on Facebook, why don't we post the full thing? Well, rules and regulations don't allow me during the competition to post the full writing, so that's why you only get an excerpt when we post it online. All right, so I don't know if we will dismiss them now or, all right, parents.
Let's give them another round of applause.
If you don't want to stay for the rest of the meeting, this would be your time to.
You're more than welcome to stay.
But you're more than welcome to stay again.
Come to a meeting.
When they send you yes, ma'am.
What? Oh, I said I'm back out.
Just so you know. Doing okay? Yes, sir.
Please don't fall. The next item on our agenda is our financials. So, Ms. Deep.
Hello, this is the financials for March. We are 75% of the year complete. First, we're going to start with our general fund revenues. As you can see on the side, we're doing great with our local ad valorem taxes. Our local intangible recordable tax, we have a lag in payment, so that 41.67% will, by the rate of it, will be 100 at the end of the year. However, I just received December's payment in March, so we have a little lag. So once those catch up, we should be in line with 75% of the year complete. TABT, we're looking good around that 72 mark. Local other, this is Head Start being reimbursed, so they've reimbursed us quite a bit of their 30,000, so we're looking good there. QBE, right at 75%. State grants, the reason we're so low is because we have those 4 buses. I heard from our transportation director that we should be receiving them soon, so hopefully we can get the invoices in and get reimbursed from the state before June 30th. Next up, we have their Medicaid income, so we're at 56, which is less than the 75%. However, we are doing better than comparable to last year. So we'll usually get a bigger check around June, so that's why that's lower. Impact aid, obviously that's a big percentage. We never budget for that, so once we amend the budget, that'll be at 100%. So overall, we're doing real well with that yellow star, better than 75%. We're at 82% of our original budget. Next up, we have our expenditures through March 31st, 2023. As you can see on the side, not many are above 75%. If they are, it's because of one-time purchases. Maintenance and operation, that's the biggest one that we've talked about, so we will amend that when we come to our budget amendment next month. Other than that, we are still below our 75% mark. Okay, here's our balance sheet. Our FSB bank has $3.5 million in cash, and our F&M has the 1.1 of mostly of in the CDs. And we have a fund equity amount of 3.581. Prior month we were at 3.486, and prior year we were at 3 million. So we are doing better in fund equity than last year. Okay, and this is just a reiteration of our 3.486 fund equity. Now moving on to our SPLOST collection proceeds. So we had a big jump up back to 91. So our average is still around that 90,000 for fiscal year 23.
Any reason why we had such a drop last month?
I have no clue. I mean, it's a lag, so February would have been January's collections, and that's
Christmas maybe?
not usual, because I think last year in February we actually had an increase.
We did.
So, I'm not sure. That's just for reference. Okay, SPLOST summary. So we actually had some activity besides revenue come in. We see that bond and interest payment. I paid our interest of our 2015 and 2016 bonds, leaving us now with this balance in our SPLOST of $445,000. Prior year at this time it was $110,000, so you can definitely tell that our SPLOST collections are very much increasing. Down to our bond tax summary, once again, we had principal being paid out, that $810,000, leaving us now with a balance of $494,000 in our bond tax balance. So just for reference, currently we have $939,000. So that means we can definitely pay our October 1st total of $347,000, and we're 43% of the way to our next year April 1st total of $1.372. Okay, capital projects. Not much happening here. About 1,000 came in for supplies for the second concession stand. We will be amending the budget, so whatever we think we need to do with that capital projects fund, we will do that for our amended budget. Okay, financial status reports, general fund. This is just reiterating what we've already gone through. So 82.66% of total revenues we've received and 71.59% expended. We have 673 outstanding purchase orders. The big ones are the buses, that 528,000. Moving on to special revenue. These are our grants. So usually this is whatever we receive in revenue at the end of the year will be 100%, 100%. So if our revenues and expenditures are off, it's because I haven't drawn down grants yet, but we're pretty close, 43% versus the 50. Capital projects, like I said, we got 4.58 in interest and we spent 1,000. Okay, debt service. Activity in the revenue of 78,000 coming in, and our big payment of 1,177,000. Any questions with our March financials?
Question?
Okay, just so we know what's coming up, at our May 9th regular meeting, we do need to approve a fiscal year 23 amended budget. So I am gathering that data from all the managers and anyone applicable there. As well as at that meeting, we need to get the budget, fiscal year 23 budget discussion beginning one. At that meeting as well, we need to set the date of a called board meeting, and then the TBD dates will be the date that y'all set it. Last year we set it in the morning on a day, so as long as I have 2 weeks notice in the newspaper, we're good there. But ultimately, we need to get it approved by June 13th. If we don't, then we have the risk of going into July 1st, and we don't want that because then we have to do a lot of things.
If we don't do it by June 13th, we could have a call board meeting by the end of June. But if we don't finish it by July 1, then we would have to have an extension and a lot of other hoops to jump through. So you're correct.
Okay, that's what's coming up. Thank you.
I want to thank you again too for the boxes in the margin. That's a lot of stuff I like to compare, and I like seeing that. I like having that out there to compare to previous year and all that. So thank you for that.
And the gold stars, I like that too. Very good.
Policies for review.
We have 2 policies for review, IDE, competitive interscholastic activities, grades 9 through 12. No pass, no play, or no participation, I should say. And then IDE 3, non-competitive extracurricular activities. Both of those are fine as written. We have 1 policy for revision. It is CGPB. There's actually 2 versions here. The first version is what was submitted to the board initially, and then I had a board member that actually sent me a recommendation for a second revision. There is not a lot of change, but there's a small wording change, and there's a color associated with that small wording change on the second one. We can use either one, but it is the board's prerogative on how they word a policy, because the board sets policy. So read both of those if you would, and this would be for the first reading. So as we read this, if you like the first one or the second one, we could always come back and change it, and it would have to set for another 30 days. Or if we settle on one of these and we like it, it sets on the board or sets on the table for 30 days, and then we would vote on it at the following meeting. Any input or questions on either one of those?
Question.
Sure.
So is this the only guidelines for administrative leave, absences, whatever?
Specific to administrative, yes, sir. But we do have an overall policy that is GARH, that is employee leaves and absences. Now, of course, principals fall in that. This one is specific to principals, and that's why this is in here, because it's more of the start date than the actual finish time. But the board requested for the finish time to be in there as well, so we're trying to put everything in there that the board would like. But policy GARH identifies leave time, employee absences, and leave. So that particular policy hits all of us.
Okay.
There's also a policy GBR, and it is called professional personnel working conditions. It identifies length of day, time schedules, and professional learning days. So those pieces are available, but this does not infringe on that, it adds to that.
We don't want to duplicate anything, but we want to make sure
Agreed,
that
sir.
it's clear.
Yes, sir.
So I don't know. This is the first reading, right?
This is the first reading. And as I identified earlier, we do have a great relationship with our principals, and they do report.
Okay.
Does either one suit a board member's fancy?
Well, personally, I think if you're talking about absence, you need to have absence in there.
Well, if
You
they're
have
absent, it just doesn't matter if they didn't come in or if they left during the day.
They're
Still
still
absent, so
Yeah,
if you're
that's
looking for that,
So the best wording for that, whatever that is.
upon their absence. You know, if they're absent, it doesn't matter if it's half a day or a whole day.
Well, and that's the only option you have for professionals is a half day or a whole day.
Right.
Because obviously, we're not hourly. So if you're out for an appointment for 20 minutes to an hour, it's a half day. That's just the way it's calculated. Now, we do have the option to use some comp time if it's a situation of you're going to be 30 minutes late because you had a car issue, but our principals are here already. They've already burned that 30 minutes. So we do have a little bit of flexibility that way as well, so they don't get punished.
Well, if they go to town for 20 minutes to go get some pizza for school or something, that's not counted as a half a day or nothing
No,
like that.
that's work in progress.
Okay, yeah, okay. All right.
Anything else?
Which one would you all like to pick, so we can set one on the table? That's the original one. Whatever color that is, that's the original one. And then that one is the addition, or the second version.
I just,
That one gives more detail for me, personally, that's just me.
Are you leaning either direction?
I mean, I'm good with that one.
Mr. Landry, you go with that one? All right, we'll put that one on the table for 30 days. If you get a wild dream and want to change it, then let me know, and we'll reinvent the wheel and make it better.
We may need to look at this or that we've already got, that as far as we may need to take a look at that in that 30 days and just see how that compares.
Right,
to-
it's, again,
Well,
these
what's
are,
already in place.
right, these policies are in place for everybody,
Right,
but this specifically talks to principals. so-
Administration, yeah.
And administrative, so
that's right.
it adds to it.
Okay.
But yes, that'd be a wonderful idea to go ahead and read both of those. GARH and GBR.
GBRH and GBR.
Yes, sir.
GBRH and GBR.
All right, that's all the policies.
That's it. Just those three.
And Superintendent's report.
Next thing we have is superintendent's report. We got a couple of quick things. I think everybody was aware tonight was first home soccer game against Bowden. We have one tomorrow for the boys, also against Bowden. Unfortunately, it's not here. It's on the other side of the world in Bowden. So that game starts at 5:30, even though it's said on the website 6 by GHSA, not by us. It does start at 5:30, so don't be late and show up too late. As the board's received an email, but just as a reminder, May 3rd at 8:30 at Washington Wilkes, the board has whole board training. It's at the Washington Wilkes Board of Ed building. If you don't know where that is, send me an email and I'll send you the exact address. But it's the old school in Washington Wilkes. And then prom is this Saturday. And people will start lining up about 7? Is that fair?
In the morning, yeah.
The chairs will be there at 7 in the morning.
The next thing I have is we've been working on this for a while, and we have 2 visitors from the YMCA. We have been working on trying to get some assistance for moms and dads after school. YMCA has a program called Prime Time, and YMCA comes in and works with our kids after school for a weekly rate. You can call it a daycare if you would like, but it's a lot more than that. It's curriculum and enrichment. Everybody has the flyer in front of them. I asked the guys to come in and help us answer some questions, give us a little bit of idea. You're all aware of where Lakeside is, and YMCA Lakeside does a great job down there, but they're continuing to expand, and part of that's my fault. I actually sit on their board as well, but I'm trying to get them more involved in Lincoln County's school system. So Charlie, if you want to jump in here, please feel free. But the curriculum and enrichment is great for our kids from a different angle, different exposure, a lot of fun. And again, it's after school. It's a weekly rate of $55 a week. And it gives mom and dads a place to have their children supervised at the school, and they would dismiss at 6 o'clock or when mom and dad pick them up. I know that Ms. Goldman has been trying to make this happen for a while. I think it's a wonderful program, but I wanted the board to at least have a heads up of what was going on, and we will bring it all back to you for final approval, but I wanted you to see it, talk about it, think about it before we say, here it is, approve it. I don't think that's fair, so we wanted to show it to you first. Charlie, jump in.
I can talk a little bit about it. So basically what it is an after-school program that the Y will staff. And normally what we do, we've already been working with Ms. Goldman. She's got some people in mind. We prefer to hire from within the school, either parapros or teachers who'd like to be a part of it. That way they already are familiar with the school setting, they're already familiar with the kids, and then they will be trained by the Y for what the Y after school program does. So most of them start around 3 or as soon as school is over, and they're till 6. So the kids would be, what the normal day looks like is we provide a snack, we help them with their homework, we do STEAM projects, and then we do playing too, all those different type things. So it goes on a schedule, so it's not just they come in and just are hanging out for 3 hours. We try to make sure that they're got all their homework done before they get home. And I know the one that we do in Jefferson County, that's a big plus for the parents. If they pick them up by 6, they don't go back home and do a couple more hours of homework. And we schedule it to where the kids aren't getting out of school at 3 and then coming and sitting down and doing an hour of homework. So we let them do their snack and have some fun time first before you sit down and start doing your homework right after school, because kids don't want to sit down and do their homework as soon as school's over. They want their snacks. And so we will have the space. I think we're looking at doing the cafeteria and then having a backup as the gym, because you have to have 2 locations in case the school was having an activity in your primary spot. And then the Y provides the insurance for the program in the evenings, and we provide the staff, and there will be a secure check-in point to where parents drive up and they check their kids out. We require them to show their photo ID, so you have a sign-in. It's actually all done digital now, so they'll take an iPad out and they'll sign their kid in and out. So So it's an actual good thing, so we do it that way. We do it that way at the lake now too. We sign kids in and out with an iPad. I'm used to be an old school person who liked paper, but once those iPads are, it's a lot easier because they have all the information there and I can have a picture of the kid and know who's going where. So, and then there's a revenue sharing program that it's in the flyer and in the pack that we passed out. The more kids that participate, that we get signed up, the more that the revenue is shared back. We're aiming for the first to get about 15 kids. And with our ratio, what we do is 1 to 15. So if you have 15 kids in the after-school program, you only need 1 staff there. So that helps with the staffing part. But if you have 15 kids, we do $2,000 back to the school system. It's $1,000 per semester. So the first semester is why I give you a check for $1,000, the second, another $1,000. And that increases the more kids that we get in. And I know we said the rate was $55, but the Y also has scholarship programs. So we do different percentages based on financial assistance forms. The most common is they get a 30% off, and that would make it down to $38 a week. So if you have any other questions, that's a broad, general spectrum. So,
I do want to add with the scholarship program, we don't turn anybody away for the inability to pay. So, if they can afford the whole amount, that's great. I mean, we'll sometimes give up to 80 or 90% off just so that way they can afford to come in the program. So that's one of the great things about the Wise. We have that for all of our programs, no matter where you are. So.
How did they get there?
So it's in the school.
It's in the school.
It's in the school. It's in the elementary school.
So it's gonna be at elementary school?
Right.
Okay. Cool.
So they'll be checked out. The staff will check them into the site, and it's going to be based in the cafeteria to start off with. So they will be checked into that. Normally, like for other schools, they have your car line and your bus line. Then they have a prime time line. Those kids go to prime time, get checked in their spot. Then the parents would just come to the school and pick them up.
Great.
So there's no financial requirements as far as the school's concerned other than the use of the facility?
Correct.
Which we can afford.
Yeah, and like I said, the Y does the insurance part of it while it's running. Once everything gets put in place, we have an insurance policy for all that.
If, when this comes down, if this was approved, what kind of timeline are we looking at as far as getting started?
We want to start August 1st.
August?
August 1st, and school starts next August.
Okay.
We had hoped that we would have it in effect already, but the state has very stringent requirements. They will not even accept that we're already a school to have, so we had to apply to be a child care facility when we already are that. But so we had a very thick packet that Ms. April Keener has assisted us.
180 pages long.
So we started this in the early fall with hopes that we would start in January. But we're looking forward to getting started with your approval in the next school year. This is a service that our families are in desperate need of. And so we're looking forward to providing this.
You think we'll be looking at 15 students? You think we'll be looking at a lot more?
I think we'll be looking at a lot more, but
Is this kindergarten through fifth?
pre-K.
Pre-K.
Okay,
Yeah, so any student at the elementary school.
And you put your stamp of approval on it.
I do. I send the children there.
There you go. So what was the overflow plan? The gym? Is that what you said? I couldn't understand.
Well, so the cafeteria
Cafeteria
first,
first, then the
then
over.
the gym.
Then the
Yeah.
gym, okay. Okay. How many people can you estimate to hold in the cafeteria?
We have 3 grade levels there at once, so almost 300 for lunch.
She
You
said
can come do
that.
lunch duty anytime, Mr. Wakeman. Join
So how many teachers would that be? It's 15 per person.
300 divided by 15.
What is that?
Come on, Taylor.
20?
James says 20.
You think you can get 20?
20.
Probably won't be doing nothing, but I'm just curious.
I know, just close that.
We get 300 kids.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea.
You said you would staff them, but you said you'd also use some of the local parapros or something as well, or
That
teachers
is
as
the
well?
plan.
Okay.
That's what we prefer to do for each location, is try to get a local staff from the school system.
And it's not limited to just elementary staff, so if the middle or high school staff wanted additional income, parapros,
Right.
teachers.
And those staff folks do get WOW memberships. I know there's, the closest WOW is a little ways away, but the staff gets WOW memberships.
Okay.
But that would give them discounts on any WOW programs, including
Can't put
Lee
some.
Camp.
Any other questions?
Yeah, why didn't you do it 20 years ago?
That's true. Thank you very much for being here, and thank you for the information.
Thank you, guys.
Enjoy it. Thank you.
I need a motion to go into executive session. Motion by second by Mr. Morgan. I'd like to call this meeting back to order. The superintendent has recommended, and I make a motion that we hire Breanne Tankersley for the special ed inclusion teacher for the 23-24 school year. Second by Mr. Madison, all in favor? Superintendent is recommended, and I make a motion that we accept the resignation of Taylor Atkins, effective May 25th, 23. Second by Mr. Madison, all in favor? Superintendent has recommended, and I make a motion that we hire Laney Phillips for the 6th grade ELA teacher for the 23-24 school year. Second by Mr. Heitman, all in favor? Superintendent has recommended, and I make a motion that we hire Marcus Matthews for the alternative school instructor for the 23-24 school year. Second by Mr. Heitman, all in favor? Superintendent has made a motion, has recommended, and I make a motion that we hire Amy Tokar for the for first grade teacher for first grade teacher for the 23-24 school year.
That's a mouthful.
That was a mouthful. Second by Mr. Madison, Mr. Heitman, all in favor? Unanimous, and I make a motion, I need a motion to adjourn. Mr. Madison, second by Mr. Margaret. Thank you all very much.
Thank you all.